everyone, it's Jean. Just having a quick visit with you this Sunday evening. I hope you all enjoyed your weekend. And yes, it is Monday tomorrow, so hopefully this will give you a little bit of inspiration going forward through the week. And I'm going to share with you a project that it was initially done by Natasha from Treasure Books. If you've ever watched her videos, she does a lot of fun things to create journaling spots and pockets and things of that nature. So one of the items that she had made was a fold out of a particular using just book paper, and it made a great journaling spot for your journal, and they could be clipped in or put in an envelope or however you wanted to, because the fold up of the process allows it to not be is smaller, but then when you open it up you have a much larger journaling section. So Kim had tried this on her channel and she said, Jean, you should try it. So I thought of something that we used to do way back when I was with Kim on another group. We used to do a lot with houses, and I love houses and altered houses, and I make mixed media houses sometimes. And so I've been thinking about this idea that she was talking about, and I had some house shapes already cut out that when I was going through my scraps, making my scrapbook or making my journal papers. So I found a couple of these. They're just made out of regular scrapbook paper. So I will show you my process, and then you can do all kinds of things with this. So I'm just going to show you what I've come up with, and I think it's really cute, especially to add inside a journal as a focal point. So the first thing that I have done is I cut two of these, and I cut them and glued I glued a thicker piece of cardstock in between two sheets of scrapbook paper. So you can have your house look however you want it to on the outside, but I basically made my house template. And let me just get my ruler. This is my favorite metal ruler. Okay, so it says it's a little over, so if you make this 2.5 by 4, that will be great. And I'll just write that here, 2.5 by 4. So you want the 4 to go this way and the 2.5 to go this way. Okay, I am really bad at measurements, so don't laugh at me at my manner of actually determining how to cut something. So I'm just going to trace what I have here. It's a tiny bit bigger than the 2.5, but it will work fine. So if you have any chipboard or thicker cardstock that you can put in the middle, or even make the house piece with, that's what I would suggest, is to get yourself a little bit thicker paper. If you don't mind the sandwiching of the papers together to make them a little thicker, you know, that you can do that. My roof is not exactly triangular, but that's okay. I like it like this. It gives a little bit of a whimsical style to it. So that is what you want to do for your first thing. This, you want to make yourself a front and a back, okay? And as I was mentioning to you, make it out of a little bit thicker cardstock, or you can take these 3 pieces and glue them together so that you have a thicker piece. And if you need to, you trim off wherever you need to, okay? So that's what I've done with this particular one here. Now the binding that I used is just like a book cover binding or a cloth binding. I originally was going to punch holes, but I think it's better for this one. You don't have to use paper. You can use washi tape. You can use whatever you want to put your 2 pieces together. So for the sake of doing this together, let me just put these 2, and then before I glue that, I'm going to cut another one out real quick, so I make sure I have the same design on each side. The very fun thing about making houses is all of the interesting elements that you can add to it once it's done. It can either look like a house where you could, you know, put some flower stickers on it, or you could put a for sale sign or a cat in front of it, or whatever you wanted to do that. And I just left the bottom together, so I'm just going to glue this. This is kind of a scrap piece of paper. It looks like it has some gesso on it, which I haven't forgotten to show, that I'm going to show you guys how I use my gesso, but I haven't gotten any yet. So it'll be a few. I might get some tomorrow. Sadly, I fell and I already have difficulty walking. And so I'm kind of broken from that. But my husband helps me quite a bit with things that I need. So I'm so thankful for him. Aren't hubbies great? My hubby's name is Adrian. And that brings me to, I will later talk to you all about the Spanish Heritage Month, so that we can talk about that then. So for the purpose of this particular tutorial, I'm going to take some washi tape, and I'm actually going to join these 2 right here. And I want to make sure they're straight, because I need to be able to see where that seam is. Oh, well, that's great. It just peeled some up. Washi tape can be like that sometimes. You think it's pretty forgiving, and then every once in a while you get a piece that's really sticky. So I'm just going to tack that down with the washi tape so that I know it'll fold. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some book paper, and this is my book paper that I had been using before out of my bird book, and I'm going to do, first you want to fold it in half, and then fold it in half again so you get a rectangle shape, okay? And then I've actually cut myself a template because I know what the size is going to be based on the house. So I'm going to cut my piece that I'm going to be using. Like this. And I'm not 100% sure, but I think maybe Natasha on hers might have been rounded or cut like a tag. You can use all kinds of shapes. But my idea with this is I want to be able to take my little fold out tag, and it comes out like this, okay? And this is with the writing on the correct side. Okay, now what I'm noticing with this is that when I fold it up, it's fine inside of the house, but the bottom sticks out. You can't cut the bottom off, because if you do, what will happen is it'll cut it so that you have two separate pieces, and we don't want that. So let me fold this again, and this is where kind of like you want to use your trial and error, but also if you're not good at measuring, you can base it on what the first one was like. So I know that it was hanging down maybe not even 1/4 of an inch, maybe 1/4 of an inch. So I'm just going to go back and cut over this one. And I left an edge right here. So I hope you can see that. So this second one, as you can see now, is shorter than the other one. Okay, so you can see that they're shorter. So we'll take the shorter one and we'll open it up. And I try to put my writing right side up. That's just a personal now. What I will do here is, for some reason, you want to get the fold of your paper right on the fold where your houses fold together. Okay, so you want to make sure that the fold of your paper is right at that crease. If you don't, it's not going to show hidden whenever you fold it up and close it. Okay, and this one again, I'm not sure, it might still be a little bit too tall, but I'm just going to put some glue right here on the very top triangle part and see if I can position it correctly. Now, when I do something that is like this in style, I'm not very worried on the inside portion, how much is left here, how much is left here, to make sure it's all even. All I want to make sure of is that when I lay down this larger piece, that it's going to fit inside. So if I fold this up now and I close the booklet and close the little house, it's kind of wonky because of the tape, that you're not going to be able to see any of the book paper. So that allows you then to be able, when you are designing the inside, you have some room to design over this edge and this edge. It doesn't have to be exactly the same. So there's one that I've done, and like Kim says, it sometimes takes the initial design doesn't take as long, but it's the decorating part that can take forever. Now this particular house that I made, I thought I would make a little window in it. Okay, so when I open that, and then where's my paper? Let me see if this one will work. It should work. Okay, I think it's going to be a little bit too long. So let me see if I can cut this and cut this. And like I said, I'm not too worried about it being even as much as I am concerned about it being so that when I close it, I can't see, and that my seam here is always going to be right at the crease of that book. So if we open this up, and then we put our glue. Now this one I cut a little window in it and I put some vellum. I'm curious to see what it's going to look like after I after I put the book paper down. We'll see what it looks like in the middle. So here I'm going to make sure the seams are okay and make sure the corners aren't going to stick out, and make sure the bottom. Okay, so I can come down a tiny bit here, and it's just a matter of lining that up so that you can see. Now if we fold this and then we fold this, see how cute that is with the vellum and the print. Now what I would probably do, will probably do with this is this, when you have vellum like this and then the little window, it's fun to put like some rub-ons on there to kind of decorate the outside. So they don't have to specifically be decorated like houses. If you don't want to do that, you can decorate them just with something fun. So let me take a piece of, I'm going to fold this up, fold this over, and I'm going to do a little bit of work here to make sure this is straight. That's one thing about using pattern papers too. Sometimes it's a challenge to get everything to look even and straight. So I'm going to have to cut a teeny tiny sliver right here. And I think, let me see if that cut any off there. Okay. I'm just going to, it is a little bit over here, but I'm actually just going to leave that because I think once you put some trim on there or some kind of roof that you want to have on there, you're not going to need a bunch of extra, I mean, that extra won't show. So I just have this piece of scrapbook paper, and I'm going to cut it right here, and then take my Elmer's glue, and I'm going to bind the edge of this too. Now this binding is a little bit fat. You don't have to make it this thick, but I imagine what I will do is try to make sure that I have something that I can decorate over this. And we can put a tree on there. We can, you know, we can put a tassel here. There's so many cool things you can do with these. So there is our little house. Here's our house with the window. And then I have one more that I did, the very first one. And I haven't decorated any of them yet because I just wanted to show you the process first. Here it is. This one is a little brown one. And it opens the same way. So you have, now on Natasha's, what she did was she actually covered her book page on the other side with some like plain tea dye paper. You can definitely do that if you want to do that. For mine, I think what I'm going to do, let me see if I can find some pretty paper. So this is brown on the outside. Let me see if I have any, give me just 1 second. I want to reach over here for some sheet music if I have any stained that I can grab pretty easily without causing an avalanche. So I read this quote today and I thought it was a lot like me and my desk. Where's my book that I wrote my quote in? Funny how you lose things that quickly. I was just, okay, here it is. It's under my laptop. It says an art attack. Instead of a shark attack, an art attack. The overwhelming feeling of having so many creative ideas at once and not enough time to do them. Isn't that an interesting quote? It's called an art attack. So what I've been doing is I just have one of these little notebooks, like I told you I got at the thrift. And I write down a lot of the different ideas that I have, or I put them in my note file on my phone because I don't want to okay, I'm gonna fold this like this. I don't want to forget, because sometimes when I don't know if this happens to you, but sometimes when I'm laying there in bed and I'm thinking about, you know, what I'm going to do or what I'm going to make my video about or what I'm going to talk to you about, it'll come to me then and I'll need to write it down because by morning I won't be able to remember it. So look at how cool this looks. So you could even, in this book, use some really pretty paper for the inside. Like this is some dyed sheet music, and look how pretty that looks, and it folds right up the same, so you can actually make your inside page out of anything that you want to. But my idea for this, let me cut this down more because it's going to need cut down quite a bit, I think. Let me try it now. So you can do a couple things here. You can either If you need to create some writing space, you can do that by taking any kind of plain paper and putting over this. You can use line paper, you can use a plain color piece of cardstock, you could use really pretty much anything you wanted to. But what I was thinking is, instead of having to be so precise and cutting the sizes, why not just add something like this? I'm going to use this side because it's less busy, and it's going to allow you even to have some of your own journaling space, but at the same time, it's another piece of vintage paper. So I have to make sure that it's on that fold, okay? And when this folds up at the bottom, so will the other one. So we'll just smooth it down like this. And here we have the two different colors. And from here, you could definitely add some images and then put some butterflies on here. We could, I don't know if I have any of Kim's images handy. But I'm really loving this, how it comes out with the two different colors. And there's journaling space that you can use in here. I like the idea that when I journal, because I'm a person that when I write, depending on the kind of pen and the kind of paper that I have, that I will, let me see if I can find a piece of, where's my, holla. Okay, so let me show you. And this is just me because I like to write and I like to be. So with this particular line piece, the lines are pretty close together. So if I were to write, I would probably write like this. And then if I had a piece of, let's say, this, and I wanted to be able to journal around it, I might write a little bit to the side. Jean had an okay day today. Despite falling off her chair 2 days ago. So if I were to keep a record of it, of, you know, each thing that I did in my journal, I may not write all in a line like this. I may go around the edges and right here and right here. So to me, it doesn't have to be a completely blank space in order for it to be effective. And sometimes when these lines are a little bit smaller, I don't even need to go by the line, and I'll write this way. So this is just an example of how I journal. So I don't always stay within the lines is the point I'm trying to make to you. So for me, this would be plenty of journaling space for a small project. So we could leave it alone like that. We could decorate this side with something really cute, and that way when you first open it, we could also put, now this does make it a little bit thicker, so keep that in mind when you're closing it, because the one thing about using this type of binding is that it will expand a little bit, but if you're going to put several layers of these in, I would encourage you to maybe put the holes in to, pardon me, to be able to bind it with some clips or something. Or we could put all these that we did together and make ourselves one big book, and at that point we would have to use some binding clips for that. So this one I need to put something on the outside to bind it, and let me see what I have. But isn't this like a fun little project? And then here on the back, I'm thinking, why not use some of the offcuts of the paper that we had and make ourselves a little tabby pocket or something else of interest that we could put on there. I don't know how straight this will be. Let me line it up with this. I'm gonna have to cut it like right here. Where is he cut there? Oh, way over there. Okay, so let me just use my ruler a second, because my cutter's all the way over there under stuff. And I've learned not to stretch out over those things or I will fall again. So, and then I can take this hole punch, and right in the middle I can punch a little, like a little divot. I don't know what you guys call these. And then I can put this right on the back of this one. Now it's going to be over a little bit, so I'll need to trim it off. Let's see. Actually, what I may do is, if I can keep from cutting something, man, I'm going to do it. I don't know about you guys, but so what I'm going to do, now this is just a scrap piece of paper, so don't mind the writing on the other side. So I'm going to put this like this. And what this actually does, when you bend this over and put a piece on the back like this that's folded in, is it actually creates kind of like a gusseted pocket, so that I think I probably needed one at the bottom too, but it allows you to then be able to put a little bit more in it than you may have been able to normally, because it has that extra tab on the side. Okay, you guys are really seeing how I work. I work and try again and work again. So this one, I love this little blue paper. It's so cute. This one's getting a pocket on the back. And then we're looking at a whole new option of putting on, just putting some tags in here, putting some other fun things in the back, and that just looks so cute. I can't wait till I get these all decorated, but if I spent time decorating them all while you guys were here, it would take me forever and a day. Now let me tell you about this one, just so you'll know real quick. I actually put the washi tape on the inside so that I didn't have to necessarily bind the back, but I am still going to do that. I'm just going to do it with a much smaller piece than what I've used on these two. So there's my idea, Kim, for the flip out journaling spot, and I am going to make some more of these, and then I will decorate them and come back and show you guys how I decorated them. And I would, I think it's really neat to try things like the vellum. We have that and sometimes don't know what to use it for. Or some of it may be parchment paper too. I'm not exactly sure. Also, you can go through and you can ink these and make them really pretty as well, so that they all look really nice. Kim had inked hers on each of the sections, and you can do that too if you're going to decorate each section separately. But here was my little twist on that, Kim, and I'm going to finish these up for you because I don't have all my supplies right here at the ready to be able to put stickers and things on. I need to print out some images from Kim's website, and then I will do these little houses for you guys. But how fun is that? So thank you to Kim and thank you to Natasha for helping us come up with these interesting ideas. The last thing I want to show you all is I'm going to be uploading some new images into my coffee shop. Now, it usually takes me a couple days to do that, but I'm going to give you a sneak peek of some of the ones that I've done. Some of them I had done a while ago, but just did not have a chance to put them on collage sheets yet. So I may have mentioned them, but not shown them to you yet. So the first set are some young ladies, and these are designed like vintage cabinet cards. Now, a vintage cabinet card in its, I thought I had one right here to show you. But a vintage cabinet card, depending on the age of them, some of them are very light and you can't even really see a whole lot of definition in the person's face. But I made mine so that it has a little bit of color and it's, has some depth to it. So here are the little girls. That was the first one. And then the second one I made were more young ladies. So there's different colors of dresses and hair, and some have butterflies in their hair or flowers in their hair. So there's all kinds of styles. Now, I'm only showing you one sheet. When I upload these, I'll make them in different shapes for you. But for me to save on ink, I usually only print one sheet of each design to show you. The next thing that I made were some bird cages, and not all of them have birds. They're just basically the cages, and some of them are heart-shaped because You all know I really like the heart shapes. I wanted to try some chairs. Now, don't ask me where I'm going to use these, but I really love the way they turned out. Some Victorian or shabby chairs. So we'll see what we can come up with those. I also have a few pages of these wildflower. They're like little bouquets. Some of them are in a jar. Some of them are just bound by twine, or even, just coming out like they're planted. So I have several of those that we can work with. And of course, I had to make some houses. Now, these houses are just, they came out so cute because I was thinking about my project that I was doing today, and I was thinking that I could just cut square design and then put my journaling spot in it. But there's all kinds. This is more like an Italian, these are more like Italian villas. It's a beach house. So there's a whole bunch in the set that I made so that you get a variety. And I really love those. And I don't know if I made another one. Let me see. I did make another one, and these are just orange. So for fall, I thought they would be cute little orange houses. And let me see what else I got. Okay, now I'm gonna save this one for last. Now, when I started doing the houses, I thought one of the things that my daughter and I like is we like mushrooms and little things, and we were talking about gnomes. So I made some gnome homes. So these are the gnome homes. You get 9 different ones, and then I'll make some bigger ones for you as well. But these would make really cute tags. They would look great in a journal. You can make all kinds of things with those. I just think they're so adorable. And we have here, I don't know, probably about 12 or 15 cats. Only one is an inside cat. The others run around outside. So I really wanted to do some cats, but wanted to keep them a little bit more realistic. So I did these, and they came out so cute. And I did them in a taller size so you could use them as journaling tags or regular tags. And there's 2 orange ones and black that would go good with those little houses. And then of course I got a little whimsical, and I made some cats with crowns, and there's some that are more fall looking. The only one that doesn't have a crown is this guy, but I think they came out really pretty too. I'll bring them up a little bit closer so you can see them. And lastly, I had put a post out mentioning to you that starting September 15th is the Spanish Heritage Month. Now, my husband is from Mexico, and he's from the state of Guerrero, Mexico. And I have been married to him for over 27 years, but previous to that, I had some friends that, of course, were associated with the Mexican culture, and now I have friends that are from the Dominican Republic, from Puerto Rico, from Honduras, from Chile, from a lot of different countries that I've met and I'm friends with. And I do speak Spanish fluently, read and write, as well as both of my children. And it's something that is an area of pride for us, because a lot of immigrants into this country, when they teach their children, or they bring their children here, or their children are born here, a lot of times we've encountered that the children don't speak the native language. The parents understand the English, the kids understand the Spanish, but they couldn't hold a conversation with you. So it was my husband and I's goal since our children were little to always speak Spanish with them, so that they would have a good command of the language. And I'm happy to say that both my daughter and my son are fluent, and very proud of their heritage of being part Mexican, and they're not shy about saying that they are. So it's a part of our culture in our family. Since I married my husband, we've adopted each other's culture, things from each other's culture that we like. And I just think Mexico is such a beautiful country and beautiful people. And it's sad, the things that people say about immigrants, but I don't want to get into that whole ball of wax, because there's really no sense in that, really. But my family has been privileged to meet a lot of wonderful people, a lot of beautiful people that have come from that country. And just like everywhere else, whether you're American, you're Peruvian, you're Chilean, you're Mexican, there are good people and there are bad people. So that's all I really have to say about that. But I'm really excited about the Spanish Heritage Month, because I've been wanting to do some things with Frida Kahlo. And I made these images today, and they came out so cool. And I made some small ones too. So I have some plans for Frida. And I also made some patterns of Talavera. This is the white and the blue Talavera. There are other colors as well, but I wanted the white and the blue. So we are going to be doing some fun things, and that starts the 15th. I haven't decided if I'm going to be able to commit to something every day, because that's a 30-day period, but I may at least do something once or twice a week along that line. I have to get a couple supplies for some things I want to make, but I did make these images, and I will upload the Frida ones and the Talavera and any other ones that I design for that month, so that if you want to participate with me, you can, and we can have a lot of fun making some, not just Mexican crafts, but Hispanic crafts, and just enjoy the beauty and the color of Mexico and the other Latin American countries. So that's what I wanted to share with you all today. I will get these uploaded in a couple days. I'm not quite as fast as Caroline, and I hope that we can, and I'll get these decorated too. I want to make like 500 of them. They're so fun. But like Kim says, they can be a lot of work depending on how you're going to design them. And we will get to that soon and come back with Mix It Up Monday and see how things are going. And I really appreciate you all coming by and visiting me and helping me with my subscriber list. And I can't wait to get to 500 so that I can give you all a sneak peek of your really exciting package. So get on the subscriber list, comment, email me if you need something at jeansgems@gmail.com, and I'll be happy to reply. Don't forget to check out the channels I love and the coffee shops I love. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your evening. Thank you so much for visiting with me. That's all for now. Bye.